Together with Megan and Derek.
Good morning, guys. It's cold. Anybody else sick of this? Because I am.
Hello.
That's all I hear people talking about. Granted, the weather is that go-to conversation when you got nothing else to say. But everybody's sick of this. We're all ready for a little taste of spring because technically that's the season we're in. Should be about 50 for your high this time of the year. Yet today we settle for the mid-30s again. And right now it's in the low 30s almost every. Our picture is going to show you just a little bit of light flurry activity that's around between Aurora and Rockford. And if we look over into the lake and what's coming on shore there in Porter County, a touch of lake effect snow too. Most of this wraps up by about lunchtime. And from that point forward, it's just cloudy.
6:07 right now, traffic and weather together. What is up, Megan? We're getting a little tired of this.
You know, everybody is. But you know what? I figure it's the end of March. By the time we hit the weekend, going into Easter weekend, temperatures will be back up to average. But right now, we have a little bit of very light flurry activity west of the city and some lake effect snow coming on shore near Porter County. Aside from that, what we're dealing with is basically just cloudy skies and colder than average temperatures. And the reason for that is because the jet stream, good old jet stream that drives our weather patterns, has taken a dive and has allowed for some very cold conditions to just settle in around here and really set up shop. Nice milder stuff, albeit a bit wet, is down to the south and east of us. That cold air just stays locked right here in Chicagoland, and it is going to be one of those days where temperatures are anywhere from 10 to 15 degrees below average. So get ready to bundle up again today. Somebody lives somewhere they don't have much actual crime, huh?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
That's a court case.
There's other news
Comes up
going
on the docket. Yeah, I guess so. By the way, we were asking for pictures of people watching us this morning on Twitter. This was my favorite. On this morning. So good morning to everybody out there. 32 degrees right now at Midway and O'Hare, 31 for Waukegan, 31 for DeKalb, about 34 degrees for Gary. If you look at the radar picture, you're going to find a little bit of light snowfall from Aurora stretching up to Rockford. And then if you look back on off to the east, what you'll find here is basically a little bit of light lake effect snow that's coming on shore around Porter County and over in towards South Bend. It's not particularly heavy, but it is there. And this is just some light flurries really around DeKalb for you guys, just south and west of Elgin. There's a little bit of very light snow. So it's just flurries to start out there. But then as we go through the day, we can expect the flurries to taper off by about lunchtime. By tomorrow, we'll replace the cloud cover and the flurries with some sunshine. Not losing the chilly air, though. That stays locked in place. That jet stream's really taken a dive and has allowed for some much colder than average temperatures. We should be at 50. Today we settle for 37 flurries before lunchtime. Look at my watch, Derek. That does say March, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it. It should be 50 this time of the year here in Chicago. We should be enjoying at least a lighter jacket. Meanwhile, we're still bundled up as much as can be, and we'll talk about the forecast coming up.
Yep, and a lot of people are doing this. Just hitting the brake pedal.
With their
Traffic
hand?
is slowing down. Not with their
That's a
hand.
weird car.
Hopefully they're doing this then, right?
Yeah, that's better.
Expressway's always slowing down. We'll
Don't
take
do
a
it
look at
here.
where real soon.
Weather together. Here's Megan and
You know
Derek.
what's so wrong, Derek?
Go.
I'm looking out the window, waving at that guy behind us. You'll probably see him walk by in a second. He had on a hood, a scarf, a big old coat, and it's exactly, we could see only eyes and maybe a little bit of nose. And it's March, the end of March, almost April. But yet temperatures this morning are right at about 32 degrees, Midway and O'Hare. And it's not going to get, this is what it is, my friends. And to add insult to injury out there this morning, we also have some lake effect snow coming on shore, generally now pushing east of our area. To have a little bit of light snow as well out around Aurora, stretching up to Rockford. It's really just what I would classify as some light flurries. All of that wraps up by about lunchtime today. Really not much in the way of accumulation to be expected, but temperatures, ugh.
6:35, traffic and weather together. Hopefully we won't ever have any more snow this season.
Oh yeah, never ever. You know what I do when I don't want Lana to see something that's on the TV? I try to cover it. It's impossible to cover these numbers, guys. I don't have enough body parts to cover all this, okay? Because what we've got is just cold all the way across the board today. Few flurries potentially this morning. We're going to see that. Not likely sticking, but maybe out there. Just something to keep in mind. 29 degrees for your morning rush. By noontime, 36. Guess what? That's about the warmest it's going to get today. May get a few more degrees in some locations, but in the city, that's all she wrote. Where's spring, you ask? Good question. Technically, it's here. Doesn't feel like it. It won't until the weekend. Easter weekend, by the way, and finally.
Making a trip.
You know, I've jogged in the O'Hare many, many times.
If you're running late,
as a
there's a
matter
lot
of
of
fact,
joggers, right?
Lots of joggers at O'Hare.
I thoroughly appreciate that one long hallway with all the lights.
Yes.
The beautiful lights, yes. You know, if you run on those people mover things, you get there just that much faster.
You're right.
Just a little bit.
You're right.
It's a big airport. Who knew they had a garden and everything else? Doesn't even sound like they're talking about an airport. Spa services? Please. I'm lucky if I make my flight. All right, let's take a look at the forecast out there today. It's going to be one of colder than average 30s, it feels like. Generally, the 20s, 26 degrees at Midway, 23 for Gary, 25 Aurora, 24 degrees for DeKalb. There are some exceptions, still feeling like the 30s, but everyone takes it down at least a notch going into the feels like temperature arena. Radar pictures showing some very light flurries from Aurora, stretching up to just south of Rockford. There is also a bit of lake effect snow coming on shore from the eastern half of Porter County, stretching on up into Michigan. It was in Lake County and Porter, and now is generally pushing eastward. I think most of the snowfall activity, albeit light, should taper off by about lunchtime. It's not the case if you're down around Charleston or Huntington, West Virginia, Louisville to Columbus, over to Indianapolis. There we have more in the way of snow. The wet conditions stay locked to the south and east, while all that cold air, Canadian Arctic cold, it's just settled in around here because we have the jet stream that's just made a big old dive. Usually this time of the year, it starts to lift to the north a little bit, locking that Canadian air to the north a bit and allowing somewhat of a milder transition for us, but that has yet to happen this season so far. So that is why temperatures are a good 10 to 15 degrees below.
6:58 now. You know, Megan put out the word. Hey, if you're watching us, tweet us.
Take a pic of you watching us, giving love to the people who love us back.
Right.
You know, this is one of my tweeties.